Raw story. My ex reached out. Part two. She didn't really reach out. Now it's like we obviously communicate because we shared these dogs that I have. She like helps pay for their medicine and stuff. They're old Chihuahuas. One of them is pretty sick. She needs a lot of medicine. So I keep her updated on the dog situation and stuff. And yeah, but I wanted to elaborate on this topic. Obviously, it's the most popular video, so clearly this topic, me and my ex-wife and our failed marriage. It sounds weird to say our failed marriage. I think most marriages fail. I think mine failed in a good way. Like it ended up being the greatest thing ever. Actually, I should get up and get it so I can show you. Okay, so very personal. I love getting personal with you guys. This is a unicorn that I bought for my ex-wife when I had some philandering. I did some philandering. By the way, guys, if you cheat on your woman and you're just honest about it, this is so much better. Women actually don't care if you have sex with other women. It kind of makes them feel like they found a good man who can attract other women. Women want what other women want. That's my point. It's called pre-selection. You guys know this. The thing that women can't stand and that they can't respect is a man who is dishonest, who lies. Because people who lie, this is showing weakness. If you have to lie about something, it means you're weak. Like, think about a king. If you're a king and you cheat on the queen with someone, do you think the king would care about lying about it? He doesn't give a fuck. The king can do whatever he wants because he's the king. So if you cheat on your woman and then you try to lie about it, it's not the cheating that's bad, it's the lying that's bad. If you just own it and you're just like, yeah, I do what I want. This is the attitude that women respect, and actually they desire you more for this if you carry yourself in this way. Anyway, the unicorn. This was a gift I bought for my ex-wife because I transgressed and broke our marital vows and laid in bed with another woman. But I was honest about it, and I bought her this as a token of my love for her, and it's like an apology gift. Obviously, she forgave me and everything was fine. But then years later, during our actual breakup, when she had already decided we were going to get a divorce because I was showing weakness. Why was I showing weakness? I was sick for a long time, didn't exercise, didn't meditate. All I did was smoke weed and lay on the couch for a month, being useless. She used my past cheating on her as the reason for why she wanted a divorce. Guys, when they tell you this, like if you ever been through a breakup, whatever the woman logically tells you is the reason, this is not the reason. Maybe they don't even admit it to themselves, but she picked up this unicorn and she said, this is why I'm leaving you, because you're a cheater and like all these things. That's not it. Because I bought her that unicorn years before before we broke up, so it's clearly not the reason. But anyway, this unicorn was the reason she gave for our breakup. So I carry this unicorn with me to this day because it's a symbol of my freedom. It's a symbol of me getting my own life. So I know she didn't divorce me because I cheated on her, but that's the reason she gave. She held up the unicorn and said, this is why I'm leaving you. So because this is the reason she's leaving me, I keep it. It's very dear to me because I'm very grateful that she did leave me so I could build this life for myself that I love so much. And, I tell you guys in all these videos, I tell you guys to reject monogamy, to be emotionally unavailable, to not fall in love with women. And practically, I tell you how to do it. Just don't have sex with the same woman consistently, and you won't fall in love. But people think, oh, you're bitter, you're jaded. That's why you reject love. First of all, romantic love is an illusion. It's not real. It's a chemical cocktail in your brain. And it can be real if you believe in it. It's like the same thing with God. If you believe God is real, God is real. If like things are real if you believe in them. If you believe a piece of paper with some number on it is real, fiat currency, then it is real. We all have to agree that money has value, and then it has value. That's how it works. Same thing with romantic love. If you believe in this story of romantic love with you and your partner that you love, your soulmate, if you believe in that with all your heart and you have invested emotionally into it, it is real. But objectively, it's not real. Once you step away from it, I'm 3 years removed from my marriage. It's not real to me. The love I felt for my wife is not real anymore. It was at the time, but now I see it clearly. I see it logically and rationally. I use my intellect. And now going forward with my life, I use my intellect for every relationship with all women. I choose logically to not fall in love with women because I know it doesn't serve me. I know what serves me, and it's to have multiple casual relationships with women, as many as possible, and eventually to spread my seed far and wide as nature intended. With my first girlfriend who took my virginity, I was hopelessly in love with her. This was the most intense. We were teenagers, so of course, like you expect this to happen. It was very intense and emotional, and it like those feelings of love and closeness and bonding with someone that carried with me for a long time. Even when I was like, that relationship was like 6 months long. I met my girlfriend who became my wife. I was still thinking about my first love. Actually, I think the reason I was in my marriage for so long is because when it started, I was not in love with my wife, with my ex-wife. And I think that's the correct dynamic, because if you're in love with a woman, she really can't be in love with you. I've found that to be the case. Maybe you can relate. But yeah, I was deeply in love with my first girlfriend, and then I developed a deep bond. And like, when you're married to someone for over a decade and you spend every day with them, we worked from home, we were never apart. We were very codependent. It was like a codependent toxic relationship for over a decade. But this is the kind of, it's like a familial love, like you feel like they're part of your family. In fact, I remember treating my own mother terribly, because I would, like, if my wife and my mom would have an argument, I would take the side of my wife, which in retrospect is unthinkable. Like, I would never do that now that I'm a grown man. But back then, I chose my wife over everyone else in my life. I chose her over my friends. I chose her over everything. So it was like a deep bond. It was a very close friendship. Plus, there was like the sexual chemistry. And yeah, this is like, it makes you, over time, it makes you fall in love. It makes you emotionally attached. And it makes you weak. This is the point. A woman will be attracted to a man when he's single, when he's living his best life, when he's full of potential, and he's going up in the world. And he has inner strength. And that's why she's attracted to him. because he doesn't really care about her. He's doing his own thing. And then when they get together and they get in a relationship, he closes off options with other women. Now he's fully invested into this one woman. The love and bond deepens over the years, and that makes you less and less desirable over the years. The deeper you fall in love with her, the more out of love she falls with you. So, I mean, I was able to maintain my attractiveness to my wife for a long time, but everything has its limit. The longer you're with a woman, the weaker you become. It's just, this is how nature works. She will soften you over time. You will choose to spend time cuddled up on the couch watching Netflix. You will choose to spend time going to restaurants, drinking wine, going on trips. Pleasure, comfort, ease, enjoyment of life. This is what it is to be in a relationship with a woman. All of these things weaken you, soften you as a man. Compare that to being alone. Just you, solo, in solitude, developing yourself, hopefully. I realize it's possible to be alone in solitude and not be developing yourself. If you're watching these kinds of videos, I try to make these videos educational. I try not to make it too entertaining, except for like these raw stories are kind of entertainment. But anyway, you probably don't just waste all of your time when you're alone. You probably are going to the gym, reading. I hope you're writing in a journal, writing things you're grateful for, whatever. I hope you have this ambition to become a strong, powerful man in the world, a man of value, internal value. This is what I preach on this channel. Forget about the external value, the status, the money, all this bullshit. None of that shit is meaningful. It's all empty. The only value that really matters is internal value built through inner work. When you're in a relationship with a woman, when you're in love with a woman, there is no room for this inner work. You can make room, and I wish I knew to do this. So, guys, I tell you not to be in relationships. I tell you to just see multiple women casually. But even if you are in a relationship right now, use this information. Don't become complacent. Don't become soft. Don't become weak. Set aside time for yourself to develop yourself internally and have this mental toughness and like this nonchalant, blasé, aloof, indifferent attitude with your woman. I had that attitude with my wife for years and years and years. That's why our marriage was working. As soon as I stopped having that attitude, as soon as I gave our relationship this like huge importance in my life, I gave it so much meaning, put so much value into my marriage, into having this one woman. That is when everything fell apart. You have to have your own life, and you have to not care so much about, if you're in a relationship, you need to try to care less, because the natural momentum, the natural, what's the word? Entropy? No. The natural course of things is for you to care more and more over time, to fall deeper and deeper in love with the woman. And as that's happening, she's falling less and less. She's falling more and more out of love with you. So if you can just maintain the same chemistry and dynamic that you guys had when you attracted her in the first place, before she was your girlfriend or wife, if you can maintain that, you can maintain that relationship as long as you want. This, as soon as you become, and this happens gradually over the years, you become softer and weaker, and you invest more emotionally into the relationship. As soon as that happens, it reaches a breaking point where you're so invested into the relationship that you couldn't see yourself without this woman. That's how you know you're fucked. That's how you know she's going to leave you. But if you're in a relationship with a woman right now, if you have a girlfriend or a wife, and you're kind of like, yeah, I don't care if Like, I kind of wish she would leave me. I want to live a single man life. If that's your attitude, there's a good chance she's very attracted to you and she's going to stay with you. The point when you become a simp, the point when you start to care too much and invest too much of your emotions and your energy into the woman, into the relationship, this is the death knell for the relationship. So stay aloof, stay nonchalant, focus on yourself. Even if you're in a relationship, focus on yourself. I know it's hard to do. If you didn't move in with a woman yet, if you have a girlfriend, do not move in with her ever. Sleeping in the same bed, this is the worst thing ever. This is a recipe for a dead bedroom. You'll stop getting sex. And if you're a man, if you're a married man right now and your wife isn't fucking you, it's because you're sleeping in the same bed. It's because you care too much. It's because you spend too much time with her. You're trying to please her probably. It's because you're a pussy, essentially. So if you have a dead bedroom with your wife, raise your testosterone, start flirting with other women, make her jealous, create some competition anxiety in her, and watch how she starts fucking you again. All right, guys, I started to go real fast at the end there because I'm running low on time. So I hope you enjoyed this Raw story, part 2. Yeah, it's been 3 years now as a bachelor, as a single man. And this is the life I'm going to lead forever. I'm going to be one of these guys like Elon Musk or Andrew Tate. Not saying like their level of success or whatever, but the top men in society, this is what they do. They have many children with many different women. This is the natural way for like top men to live their lives. And I've always had this fire inside me to compete and to outcompete other men to get more women, more money, more status, more of everything. Not because those things are super meaningful or important. It's just the competition drives me. I love the scent. Like when I'm riding my skateboard, when I'm cruising, and there's a person on a bike, and they're like trying to pass me. I never let them pass me. I always start pushing way harder because I can't imagine someone overtaking me. Same thing if I'm driving a car. If someone like passes me, I will speed up and pass them. I hate the idea of someone getting further ahead of me, like, and physically. As far as career-wise and money and all this stuff, it's more abstract. It's not like right there, physical in the moment. So I'm not so competitive in that sense. In the whole money and business, I want to be more competitive, but it's so abstract to me that I'm much more competitive in real life, in like a physical confrontation. That's when I'm competitive. But I want to improve on being competitive in the business world and in the world of finances as well. All right, you guys, I'm done rambling. Raw story. My ex reached out, part 2. Here you go. Hope you like it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.